Hey, what it is, people. It's your boy Dre back with another episode of Dre's State of Mind. And I know it's 13 days late, but Happy New Year, everybody. 2021 is starting off very, very interesting. Very interesting. Um, Pretty much like 13 days into this new year. This shit feels like the fucking deluxe version of 2020, or the if you're a video gamer, if you're a gamer like myself, it's the deluxe version of 2020. Complete with the DLC. Like these folks out here wilding right now in these 13 days of these first 13 days of 2021. Now, if you've been under a rock, pretty much like you've seen you know, Trump protesters, or what is the QNN people, whatever you want to call them, because they're pretty much both the same damn thing. But mainly Trump supporters, stormed and protested the on Capitol Hill, and actually got inside of the Capitol Hill building, thanks to little resistance from DC police and the lack of National Guard. Now there's supposed to be, I guess, like some more protesting, allegedly armed protesting. I guess like in each 50 states, but all 50 states. I think from like the 13th to the 22nd or something like that. Especially, during Joe Biden's inauguration. Now, myself, I am nor a Republican or a Democrat. Like, I'm not political at all. I don't really deal with politics, because I just look at things from a common sense perspective, and I feel that both parties, politicians in general, like, they make it a career, and it's all about how much bread they can get, and they don't give a fuck about none of us. They don't give a fuck about the citizens or whatever. They do things to make corporations' lives easier, where they don't have the corporations can pay the least amount of taxes, and how the politicians can line their pockets. Now, is there some politicians who possibly could have well intentions? Yes, but they're going to be drowned out by the majority. But just getting off topic. That's my beliefs. But pretty much like with the DC protests, you had one person that was shot after breaking in the window to, I guess, like it was the Senate floor. The cops or whatever, or Secret Service, that was inside the the speaker floor where they were trying to get into, which the senators, like, they were scrambling off of the floor because they were like scared shitless. I mean, I kind of would be too if people were trying to get into my place of work, like, all riled up, and I don't know if they really wanted violence or if they want to throw hands, but I'm getting the fuck up out of there. But lady got shot. One dude died of a heart attack. It was a report that he tased himself in the genitals, but his family is refuting that he got tased in the genitals by himself. Like, he accidentally tased himself in the genitals. I mean, that's it's not funny, but it's funny. Dude had a heart attack. He died. I believe I saw reports that like two Capitol policemen had died as well. I think there was like a total of like 9 people that died or something like that. But now that is leading to Trump. Well, they're doing an impeachment vote as I'm recording this podcast right now. So we should know probably later in the day whether or not he's been impeached for the second time. And if you're keeping score, if you're impeached for the second time, that means he cannot run in 2024. So he could just hang the shit up. He's pretty much been banned off of like damn near all the big social media websites. So I have no clue what my man's going to do. but he's got money to fall back on. So just go sit down somewhere, go make some more money, like just chill, like stop inciting and getting these dumbass people excited, and just going and tearing up shit and running amok. Now, in these 9 days, police in DC have arrested more people than they did during the Capitol siege. So pretty much, this is a CNN report. It says like there's a number of arrests. Washington D.C. police made the day rioters laid siege to the Capitol in protest of President-elect Joe Biden's. I was close to saying Joe Budden, but Joe Biden's electoral victory. So pretty much, like, I guess, like, after they've been able to watch the video, surveillance cameras, surveillance camera footage, they've been able to identify people and make arrests. They arrested the dude that, I guess, like, it looked like he was leading the riot. The dude with the Viking horns. They arrested his dumb ass, and he has the nerve, the audacity. See, but I guess, like, when you're the right complexion, like, you could ask for like a vegan diet or vegan food in prison. Like, cause my whole thing is, if you locked up, like, you eating food just like everybody else, like, you're not special, my guy. You're state property. You're in here with all the other inmates for doing stupid shit. And you deserved it because they caught your dumb ass on tape. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just fucking shit up over at the Capitol Hill. Like, it's crazy. And there was reports that, they was like wiping like urine, and they was smearing poop on the walls and things of that nature. Oh yeah. And as far as, like, what I'm saying, these are like the same people that keep saying Blue Lives Matter when it comes to Black Lives Matter protests and things of that nature. But they sure as hell was putting their hands on the police. So I'll just leave it at that, because that's that Blue Lives Matter argument, is what I've always been said, is like some racist bullshit, like to try to justify opposition of, the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, when we're trying to tell you, our lives matter too. Like, you guys aren't getting gunned down in the streets, unfairly stopped by the police, and, getting treated dirty in the justice system. But that's another topic. So yeah, Blue Lives definitely didn't matter that day in DC. So, but I did see, footage of the night shift, like, when the sun went down, and it was getting close to that 6 o'clock curfew. I did see some police, like, they was fighting back on some unruly citizens or whatever, or protesters or terrorists. There you go, terrorists. Speaking of terrorists, so the people, like, that were rioting Capitol Hill, pretty much they've been deemed as terrorists and, put on a no-fly list, the terrorist no-fly list. So some of them, which, it racks my brain, like, pretty much, how do you take off from work, come from all over the country, and then go to DC, have a riot, storm the Capitol building, and expect to go home scot-free, like, no repercussions. Like, it was just like something to do on your vacation or something like that. And, like, the woman who got shot, she came all the way from San Diego. So I'm like, I mean, I know she didn't intend to catch a bullet, but you went from San Diego to DC and caught a bullet right in your chest, yo, and then you died. My question immediately was like, yo, what do they do with the body? Like, does, like, I guess the government, do they send the body back to her family, or does the family have to come and pick up the body? I'm leaning towards more it was her fault. So her family would have to come and pick up her body. But I'm just like, yo, it's an unnecessary burden on your family because you made a dumbass decision. I mean, I know you feel passionately about your beliefs, and everybody can believe whatever they want to believe in. But when you guys start getting physical and there's destruction and mayhem being caused, then that's when you gotta that's where you gotta draw the line. You know what I'm saying? Like there's repercussions to every action that you put out. And these people just didn't think that they were going to face repercussions, and this is what's happening. Because I've seen videos of people who were getting arrested, or people who are on the no-fly I almost said no-fly zone. People who are on the no-fly list trying to get back home, and they weren't allowed on the plane. Now they want to cry like little bitches, talking about they're trying to strip our freedoms and blah blah blah. Then they're trying to ruin my life. Like, no, you just ruined your own fucking life, dog, by just doing what you was doing. So pretty much, yeah, like my man Ice Cube said, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Look in the mirror and pretty much take a long look, Oh yeah, they arrested the dude who sat in Nancy Pelosi's desk and put his feet up on her desk and everything. I wonder if he went through the desk and was looking at her personal items and things of that nature. But that's just that was crazy. That was really fucking crazy. So pretty much they're still arresting people. So I guess we could see the number of arrests go back up on that. And we'll see what happens if they happen to have these other protests in states' capitals. As far as I live in New Jersey, so there's supposed to be a armed protest. I think in a couple of days or something like that. In Trenton. So we're gonna see how that goes, because y'all may be armed, but there's some other people around the city that they got guns too. They might not be licensed, but they got guns. So let's see if the National Guard is called in New Jersey, if the state troopers are called, if the Trenton police is called, and hopefully everything kind of remains peaceful. Hopefully no other bloodshed will be had, but let's see what happens. And I'm gonna be definitely paying attention to the protests and everything like that. And this is going to be interesting. Like, really, the only thing I'm really looking forward to, that I'm really paying attention to, is I'm really, really paying attention to, is the $2,000 stimulus that we're supposed to be getting, that Joe Biden promised. So I'm like, yo, however you got to do it, make that shit happen, because I definitely need that bread, my guy. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that subject, and I'll get right back to you. Now, another person that's been making headlines in this young year is Mia Pancetta. I believe I pronounced her name right, aka SoHo Karen, the 22-year-old woman who was filmed attacking a black teen and falsely accusing him of stealing her cell phone. And she just recently did a interview with Gayle King, where that shit just went totally left, because this chick is completely entitled. She is, I want to say, a narcissist. She doesn't really give two shits about anybody else. She refuses to take responsibility for her actions, and pretty much she's one of those people that believe that there's no consequences to her actions, and pretty much everybody else is wrong and she's right. So, that little half-ass apology that she gave to the 14-year-old son of Keon Harold, like, she pretty much, like, it was a half-ass apology, talking about she didn't attack the teen when she's clearly on film trying to tackle the kid. After falsely accusing him, she's tried to say that she ask everybody, you know, well, trying to check everybody's phone that was in the hotel lobby that she was in New York. But it was caught on film, that she, out of everybody, she kept telling the 14-year-old to give her her phone, and he's like, "Yo, that's not your phone." Long story short, turns out that her phone was pretty much like it was left in an Uber, and that was returned later on that evening. So pretty much, she did the Gayle King interview, and that interview was like, it was pure comedy. It was pure comedy. I don't know how Gayle King, I guess that's why she gets paid, she gets paid good because she's a professional. Me, I would have been like, yo, like, what are you talking about? Like, we got video evidence. Like, you're wilding. Like, you're straight wilding. But pretty much, so she said that she wasn't she wasn't racial profiling whatsoever. She says that I'm a woman, I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm a woman of color. I'm Italian, Greek, and Puerto Rican. Like all three of those nationalities have not been known to be racist. Like, what is she talking about, dog? Like, I know like plenty of cool Puerto Ricans, but I know some of their relatives, their older relatives, can be quite racist. And they've told me this. Pretty much like I don't even have to say anything about, some Italians being racist. That's been well documented towards black people. And some Greeks have been racist towards black people too. But none of them really have to anything like, as a people as a whole have to do with this self-centered piece of shit. Like she has just been raised like by her parents, like she's been coddled. Now you could clearly tell she's been coddled. Um, I guess like they take care of everything for her. And the fact that she's 22 years old and she keeps calling herself like a little girl, like, no, you're a fucking grown ass woman. Like you're 22 years old. Like take responsibility for your actions. Everybody's not going to be able to clean shit up for you. If you fuck up, like just admit that you fucked up and just keep it moving. Like this wouldn't be a big thing if you just would have. I mean, it will still be a big thing, but it wouldn't be a bigger thing, like a bigger like circus if you just shut the hell up. Like even like in the interview when she was, she told Gail to hush, like shh. Like even her lawyer looked at her like, "Yo, this bitch is wilding." Like, cause she was like, "No, no, no, shh." Like her lawyer was trying to get her to be quiet, but like she didn't. And it turns out like her lawyer that was at the interview, she ended up dropping the case or dropping her as a client because she was like, "Yo, like she's wilding, like she is uncontrollable, and like she's not going to stick to the game plan." But also there is a video that popped up. It was an old DUI, I think from last year, and pretty much like the DUI is pretty wild. Like the video is pretty wild. I'm pretty sure you could look it up on YouTube or anything like that. Because this was like her first DUI arrest, and then she was recently, I think, cited for another DUI, for a second DUI that she has to go back to court for. Now, this DUI that was October 3rd. It was at a Chevron gas station in Ventura, California. Now it shows that like her and her mom, her and her mother. That's all you. I mean, that's all the proof that I need that she does not have like good parents. They were both drunk. They were both drunk, and she was like pretty much defending her daughter, who was drunk off her ass. Like she was drunk, resisting arrest. Like the mother was touching the police. Like like she put her hands on like on the cops like waistline. What's on the cops waistline? Their fucking gun. But you mean to tell me that these two chicks, like they weren't threatening? like you didn't feel unsafe, like with a chick, like, that could potentially reach for your gun. But, when you stop black folks, you immediately feel scared for your life. Like this is crazy. So that's why I always say that, you know, it's either they're trained or like they're just racist. Like when they start shooting unarmed black folks for no reason. So they're like sitting up there, like this chick is like trying to resist arrest. She tried to run at one point. Like she dropped on the floor, just try to stop from going to in the back of the cop car. Her mom is like all over the cops and everything like that. And I'm just like, yo, this shit is crazy. And so at one point in the video, she says, I think you guys are like a joke, like talking to the cops. And she says that there are gang members out there killing people right now, and you're arresting a girl, which is like, some racist shit. Like pretty much yeah, that's pretty much some racist shit. And it says like her blood alcohol level was allegedly twice the legal limit, and she was charged with DUI, resisting arrest, and obstructing slash delaying a peace officer or a EMT. I don't know if they meant to say police officer or peace officer, but I believe in that first DUI case, like she wasn't even arrested, like she was given probation. Um, which like they just gave her a slap on the wrist. And now the second DUI, I believe, like they said that she could face actual like real jail time because I guess she violated her probation. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully this will be a wake up call, but I don't think it's enough of a wake up call because pretty much like, I mean, if you give me a guess, they'll probably just give her like maybe like a couple months in jail or something like that. Like they ain't gonna give her no years. So, um, but yeah, I mean, it's time for her to sit down and think. But she ain't going to like no maximum security prison. She probably going to like a low level jail or some shit like that, where she won't learn her lesson. But yeah. So I'm gonna keep my eye out on this stupid ass chick, because pretty much like, I guess like she still got to face charges for the assault over in New York, and then she got the DUI. So I just want to see how her story is going to end. But that's enough on SoHo Karen for right now. Little dumbass bitch. Now this upcoming subject, really excited to talk about this because anybody knows me knows it's one of my favorite times of the year. And it's playoff football time. And in the NFL, the NFL playoffs has started. They just had the super wild card weekend because they added well, all right, so pretty much they took away one of the buys and in the first round. So pretty much like if you are not the number one seed in the NFC or the AFC, you don't get that home field advantage. So even if you are a 2 seed now, you don't get a home field advantage. You got to play a home game. Um, so that, I mean, it kind of made things interesting, but I guess the games went pretty much according to how I thought they would go. I mean, I was a little shocked um, the way that the Rams beat the Seahawks, but I wasn't really shocked that they beat the Seahawks because Seattle's been Jekyll and Hyde all fucking year. There's games where they look like they're pure Super Bowl contenders, and then there's other games where they just look super duper garbage. Like their defense was looking, especially their secondary was like historically bad. They they were just giving up yards and touchdowns like it was nothing. So I wasn't surprised with that. Um, I wasn't surprised that Tampa Bay beat the football team, especially when Alex Smith couldn't go. But I was actually pleasantly surprised that I think it's Taylor Heineke. Um, as my ESPN app goes off in the background, um, Taylor Heineke, like he actually played really good. He played way better than Dwayne Haskins has ever played in Washington. I have no clue what happened to that dude. Like ever since he left Ohio State, like my man has fell off a cliff. And I don't know if there's any saving him or his NFL career. So, but I'm pretty sure someone will give him, another opportunity. Maybe not as a starter. He might have to earn he'll probably have to earn that and start as a backup and try to capitalize on the opportunity when the opportunity shows itself. And just change your attitude, because I guess like his head blew up when he was at Ohio State or something like that, and he just thought everything was about him, and it's not. Um, let's see who else played. Chicago went to New Orleans and played the Saints, who were the number 2 seed. That was a really, really sloppy game. Like the game sucked ass. I expected the Saints to blow the Bears out by more than they did. They ended up winning 21-9. But throughout this whole season, I was like, Drew Brees just needs to retire, and he's finally come to the realization that he just doesn't. I mean, he's still better than the average quarterback, but it's just like the things that made him a superstar, especially his arm. Like he didn't have like the strongest arm, but he was he's still accurate, but he just really can't throw the ball down the field, and it's just like you look like a shell of yourself. Like you've broken every damn near every passing record in the league. It's just time for you to hang it up. So, either the Saints or want to win the Super Bowl, and he goes off on a high note, or his career could come to an end either in New Orleans, because New Orleans is at home against Tampa Bay, which they beat Tom Brady and the Bucks twice this year. I know it's hard to beat the same team 3 times, especially a divisional opponent, but I think the Saints could probably do it. But it wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay actually beats New Orleans, because they're actually playing better at this particular point in time of the season. So we'll see what happens. Trying to think off the top of my head. Baltimore beat Tennessee. Baltimore actually shut down Derrick Henry, their rushing leader. Actually, for the past 2 years, he's been a rushing leader. He actually ran for like over 2,000 yards this season. And they made King Henry look really, really mortal in that game. Corey Davis just didn't show up as usual for Tennessee, and A.J. Brown was, pretty much their only viable option at wide receiver. Jonnu Smith, I have no clue what happened to that guy. Like he could be a beast when he wants to be at tight end, but like he just fell off a cliff like for the rest of the season this year. And Tennessee's defense is not really that good. So they were up, I think 14-7 at one point. And then Lamar Jackson just did his Lamar Jackson thing. And Baltimore ended up beating Tennessee because Lamar Jackson ran wild on them niggas. So that's that. Boom, boom, boom. What's the other one? The other games. I'm trying not to look at like my app, but pretty much. Well, while I'm trying to look at the other scores, my Philadelphia Eagles finally got rid of Doug Peterson, which I'm actually pretty happy, and I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson is happy too, because he was actually looking to get fired. That would explain like all the play calling and things of that nature, because I guess the last straw for him, like he wasn't happy that the Eagles hired Al Groh as the offensive coordinator. I guess like Doug wanted to call he wanted to call the offensive plays, and they were like, nah, like we're gonna hire Al Groh. He's gonna call the plays. And so they said like reports were that he was going to quit, like when they hired Al Groh, but then he decided to stay on. And yeah, like his play calling has been horrible this year, going for unnecessary 2-point conversions. And like when the situation didn't call for it, hardly running the fucking ball. But when we did run the ball, like Miles Sanders was really good. What else? Yeah, he's just been pretty bad this year. So I understand he won us a Super Bowl, but this is a what have you done for me lately business. And you gotta go, bro. You definitely gotta go. And he finally got fired, to the joy of my fellow Eagles fans. But in order to rectify the entire situation, I believe that you got to fire Howie Roseman too, because this is the same dude that the jury's still out on Jalen Reagor, but we could have had Justin Jefferson, who had a monster rookie year, broke Randy Moss's team records. Well, his rookie records in Minnesota. Made the Pro Bowl his fucking rookie year. The previous season, Howie drafted JJ Arcega-Whiteside, or I think that's how you pronounce his name, instead of drafting DK Metcalf. Like, we could have had a stud wide receiver. We could have possibly had like one of those two stud wide receivers, and he passed on it. Didn't get any offensive line help. Our offensive line got old fast. So that's part of the reason why, Carson Wentz has regressed. The other part is what's between his ears. Like, he's not processing the game like he's supposed to. He's not making strides that you would expect a franchise quarterback to make. And so, pretty much Eagles fans are done with him. We're excited about Jalen Hurts, but we'll see what Doug Peterson's firing means. Like, if we still are exploring the opportunities of trading Carson Wentz, or if they're going to bring him back, which that wouldn't make any goddamn sense. So I'm not even really expecting us to be good next year already. Oh yeah, Buffalo beat Indianapolis, which could be Phillip Rivers' final game in the NFL. His first season after 16 seasons with the San Diego / Los Angeles Chargers. No, you know what? He never. Yeah, he was just a San Diego Chargers quarterback, because he didn't make the transition with them when they went to LA. Or did he? I can't remember. No, you know what? I think he did, because this is like their second year in Los Angeles. But Buffalo beat the Colts. That was actually a pretty good game. It came down to the wire, and Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, he left Minnesota and became a fucking. I mean, he was already like nice in Minnesota, but he became like a beast in Buffalo. Let's see. And the last game that I got, okay. And the last game was the Cleveland Browns beating the Steelers. Now, people call that shit an upset. It's not an upset. Because like the Browns are actually playing good I'm almost said basketball. They're playing good football at this particular point in time of the season. And Pittsburgh's struggles have been well documented this season. After starting 11-0, they've just been playing bad, bad football. Ben Roethlisberger is another one who looks like he needs to hang it up. It's just not there anymore, bro. Just call it a career. I don't know if that elbow injury had anything to do with it. But he really didn't look good all year. And also, like, Pittsburgh couldn't run the fucking ball to save their life this year either. So that is a recipe of you getting knocked out early in January, because when playoff football starts, like, you got to be able to run the ball. Pittsburgh didn't. And just the way the game started, I was like, yo, they're going home this year. I mean, they're going home today. 14 seconds to the game, Maurice Pouncey, or is it Marquise? Because they're two brothers. Whatever Pouncey that's on the Steelers. He snapped the ball over Ben's head. Ball ended up getting into the end zone. Cleveland recovered in the end zone. It's a touchdown. The following drive, Ben Roethlisberger throws a pass that was off the hands of I believe Deontay Johnson, and which he led the league in drops. He's a fast dude, fast wide receiver, but he's like one of those stereotypical, like he's fast, but his hands aren't really that good. So Ben threw the ball, bounced off his hands. Cleveland picked it off and then took the ball back down, scored. By the end of the first quarter, it was 28-0. So I was like, damn, yo, I was thinking like they're going to put 60 up on them. Pittsburgh put up a little bit of a fight. And looked like they were actually about to get back into the game, because then once Cleveland got up big, they started playing soft in coverage, which Ben started getting into a rhythm and he started picking them apart, with the intermediate routes, so like over the middle and the sidelines. And it was like a critical fourth down. I want to say at the end of the third quarter or the beginning of the fourth. Mike Tomlin decided to punt the ball, and I believe they were down 12 at the time. Like they chipped it down to a 12-point lead. And then Pittsburgh punted the ball. Cleveland got the ball back, and then they scored again, which pretty much put the game out of reach at that particular point. Like Ben Roethlisberger was like 47 for 68, I believe. He threw the ball 68 fucking times. Had 501 yards. I believe like 3 or 4 touchdowns. He had 4 interceptions. And lost the game. I was like, yo, imagine throwing for 500 yards and still losing the game. The last person I seen do that was when my Eagles beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady did that shit. Excuse me. But yeah, so that's pretty much it right now for the NFL playoffs. But the college football playoffs just wrapped up, and I mean, people were upset about the final 4 teams that were in, or the top 4 teams that were in, because it's pretty much like the same. Like no matter what you do, whether it's the BCS system or like the college football system, the college football playoff system, where they actually have humans voting on who the top 4 teams to get into the playoff. One, they need to expand the playoff, because like just having 4 teams in there, like that's I mean, it's not really, I mean, it's exciting, but it's not, it could be a lot better. Like if you had like 8 teams or maybe even 12. But their logic is like it'll interfere with some of the bowl games and things of that nature. Like, yo, nobody really gives a fuck about those lower bowls except for like the teams who are actually in them and playing them, and like their fans or whatever, because they have a vested interest. But who gives a fuck about a Poncietta Bowl, man? Who gives a fuck about like the Tire Bowl or some shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many bowl games out there. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, they can still have those, like, or even you can tie those like other bowl games into like the playoff system or whatever. Like, just figure the shit out. Y'all grown ass people, y'all getting paid. But so the 4 teams was Alabama, Ohio State. Those 2 played. Was Alabama Notre Dame, because that was the 1-4 game, and then the 2-3 matchup was Ohio State and Clemson. So I was fully expecting Alabama to beat the dog shit out of Notre Dame, which they did. It's just whenever Notre Dame gets into these these playoff games or these primetime games, like as of late, especially under Brian Kelly, like they choke. They can't produce. I don't know what it is, but they just can't get it done. And yeah, Alabama beat the shit out of them. Now, Ohio State beat the dog shit out of Clemson. Now, I didn't expect that. I expected it to be a good game, but I didn't expect Ohio State to like just flat out beat the dog shit out of Clemson. And that's the second straight year that like in a primetime game, I guess like Trevor Lawrence, he looked very, very average. There was a team out there that made him look very average. In the national championship game, last year against LSU, LSU's defense shut him down and en route to a national title last year, with Joe Burrow, he just picked their defense apart and it just wasn't even close. And Justin Fields this year, with the motivation that Dabo Swinney had, said that, Ohio State is the 11th ranked team in the country only because they played like 6 games, because of, COVID and things of that nature. But yeah, they got their revenge on Clemson and they mollywopped them. So that set up the national championship game, which was this past Monday, which was Alabama, Ohio State. Now, the last time Ohio State beat, the last time they played, Alabama was in the semifinal in 2014, like the inaugural year of the college football playoff. And a lot of people expected Alabama to beat them, and I believe Ohio State beat them like 35-21. And in the in the national championship game that year in 2014, then Ohio State ended up beating Oregon. And so I didn't expect that this year. Because like, especially like with what's his name, Devontae Smith, who I really hope Howie Roseman is actually smart enough to actually draft Devontae Smith this year. If not, then please draft like a fucking linebacker or a corner, because we need help in all those positions. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we got was it Mekhi Parsons, the Penn State linebacker, or there's a couple good corners out there that I like. What's it, J.C. Horn? Shaun Wade is actually pretty good. But he just had a long night trying to guard Devontae Smith. But everybody this year had a long night trying to guard Devontae Smith, who set a championship record with like 12 receptions, and I think 171 yards and like 3 touchdowns in the first half. He didn't even play the second half because the first play of the second half, like he dislocated his finger and they couldn't get it back in place. So they held him out for the rest of the game. But yeah, Nick Saban won his 7th national title. He's won 6 at Alabama, and he won his first one at LSU back in 2003. Yeah, I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT, like the greatest college football coach of all time. Like people talk about like Newt Rockne or Bear Bryant or something like that. Like, nah, Nick Saban is the GOAT, especially to win 6 at Alabama at this particular point in time, like the state of the game and everything like that. I mean, that's amazing. And I know the rest of college football can't wait for him to retire, so other teams can actually win like more frequently. Because it's like Alabama will, maybe take a year or 2 off winning titles, and then they'll come back and like win like 1 or 2 more, and then like just go back and all right, y'all can win. Someone else can win one. But yeah, like so I'm excited with the continuation of the NFL playoffs coming up this weekend. You got Kansas City playing Cleveland, and then Buffalo playing Baltimore, Tampa Bay playing New Orleans, and Shit. Oh yeah, Green Bay playing. I forgot who the fuck they play. God damn it! I just said who the fuck won. Yo, my memory is bad. Green Bay plays the Rams. Do the Rams have a shot? Their defense will have to pretty much like win the game for them, I believe. I mean, it's possible they could beat Green Bay. But I mean, they have the personnel on defense. It's a matter of like, can their offense actually be consistent and actually like do what they did in Seattle. But you got Jared Goff playing with a pretty much a broken hand. I think it's his throwing hand, or is it his one of them hands? You only got two of them. And their backup quarterback, like he was knocked out of the game last week. So, and he had like a neck issue. So, not sure who's going to be the quarterback for the Rams. So that will be their only problem. But their defense could definitely keep them in the game. Like I said, Tampa Bay has a decent shot at beating New Orleans because they're playing better football this week. Well, they're playing better football at this particular point in time of the year. I mean, if Cleveland can actually do what they do best and run the ball and keep the possessions limited for Patrick Mahomes, I mean they have a puncher's chance of winning, but my smart money's still on Kansas City and Buffalo and Baltimore. That game is a toss up. See which quarterback can actually play better, Josh Allen or Baltimore's quarterback. Damn, I forgot his goddamn name. The boy's on the cover of Madden and everything. But yeah, Lamar Jackson. I knew his name would come to me. Which it all will depend on which quarterback plays better. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the sports. The NBA season just started, so I haven't really, gotten to a deep dive for that yet because I'm still in my football mode. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the sports, and I'll be back with another segment. This past month and a half was actually really, really tough. And I tell you why, because pretty much like it was diagnosed with COVID-19. Now, like I started feeling bad. It was like November 28th. I believe like that was a Saturday. I was at orientation for Amazon, and because like I was picking up a part-time job, and I was going to work like the Christmas season at Amazon. So I'm at orientation, very first day, and I got my mask on. They're emphasizing everybody to stay 6 feet apart from each other and things of that nature. So like we're all following protocols and things of that nature. But like it was just like the whole night. Like I just like I wasn't feeling right. Like I was feeling tired. My body was hurting, and it just felt like the pain, like my body pain was just getting worse as the night went. Luckily it was only there for like 4 hours. But it was like for the 4 long ass hours. So we were just like walking around the building, like every time we walk, like I was like getting winded. And I just didn't know what was going on. So pretty much at the end of that night, I had went home. Actually, like 'cause my aunt was working with me too, so I dropped off my aunt to her apartment. We still had our masks on during the car ride, which I'm glad I did, and pretty much stopped by Wawa, got something to eat, got my son something to eat, my fiance something to eat. So came home, we're all eating, and I'm still feeling like kind of bad, but it's like I felt like this before, and usually like I'll go sleep it off or something like that. And so I figured it was like a little cold or something like that. So then when I wake up, Sunday morning, like I woke up in time to go like get ready to go watch football, and pretty much like like I felt like I got ran over by a Mack truck. Like I felt like really bad, and like it was my breathing was like really labored, and so I'm like, damn, like I'm really fucked up right now. I'm suspecting I might have corona or something like that, like COVID, but like it's not really like a realistic thought at that particular point in time. So I'm just like, yo, maybe I got the flu or something like that, So I'm gonna go still watch these damn football games because I got money on these games too, and I'm trying to make sure like I win some money. Long story short, I didn't win any money that weekend, which I was mad. I think my ticket got fucked up. I think in the early games. Yeah, I didn't even get to the late games. So like I'm sitting up here, um, I put my mask on, like just in case. Like so I put my mask on, and I went to the living room. Because like my fiance, I think she was like she was playing one of her video games or something like that. And usually Sundays, like I don't game, or if I do game, like it's late because like I'm watching football like all day. So I go to the living room, and like I'm trying to watch the games, but like I'm feeling like so tired, like I'm feeling exhausted, and I'm like, bro, I just woke up. Like this is ridiculous. Like I have no energy. My body is fucked up. Like my body is sore as shit, and like it's hard to breathe. I'm just like sitting there like like that, like you know what I'm saying. So like I'm just like laying on the couch, and like I keep passing out, and like just passing out, like just going to sleep, like, and I catch myself, and then I eventually like I pass out, and then I wake up. So I'm in one of those like I'm just waking up because I hear the front door open, and like it's my mom, and she has just got off of work or whatever, and she was like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "Yo, I'm not feeling good," and she was like, she could tell like when I'm sick. It's obvious because like I'm not the one to get sick often. Um, but yeah, she noticed like both her and my fiance, like they noticed like, yo, this is not the typical Andre. Like this is not the Andre that we know. So they both were like trying to convince me to go to the emergency room and get tested. I'm still trying to on the couch trying to be stubborn and watch football. So um finally, like I was just like, yo, like I feel like terrible, like really fucked up, really terrible. So I was like, all right. So I told my mom like exactly like I was like, all right, you can take me to the emergency room. Like it was like that. I was like, yo, you can take me to the emergency room. Like I could barely talk. Like it was like breathing was like it was a chore. Breathing was labored like it was a chore. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Like uh so we go to the emergency room. And pretty much like, the emergency room on the weekend is not the swiftest thing. So it was there for like maybe like 3 or 4 hours or something like that, or at least like 2 or 3 before they actually called me in the back. Um, so then they take me in the back. Like I said, if they suspect that you have COVID, like they isolate you in a room. Um, so the doctor, like he didn't even come in the room at first. Like he just called me on the telephone because I'm like, yo, why is the telephone ringing? So I was like, should I answer the telephone? So I just answered the telephone, like, hello. He was like, hi, this is Dr. Such Such. Like, suspect that you had the symptoms of COVID-19. And he was like, pretty much telling me what they were going to do. He was like, yeah, I just want to x-ray your chest. Then we're going to test you, with the swab up the nose and things of that nature. So I was like, all right, cool. So they do an X-ray. There's no fluid in my lungs. Like there's no pneumonia or anything like that. So they come in and they do the nasal swab. The nurse comes in and she was like, which which nostril do you want me to swab? I was like, well, I had the COVID test done initially in April and they did the left nostril. So I was like, you can go ahead and get the right nostril, just to equal it out. So she started laughing and she went up in there and I was like, damn, it felt like she was like trying to pull my brain out my nose. But I mean, it's not too bad. Like, they go in there. I find like if you close your nose and like, tilt your head back or whatever, like, they put the swab in your nose and they count backwards from 10. And then like they take it out and put it in the little tube thing and all that and send it out to get to get tested and everything like that. So that was Sunday. I believe I got my test results. It's like Tuesday. It's like Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. Because ironically, so like the next day, which was a Monday, my fiance was no, she was getting ready to go to work, and I'm in the bed like just fucked up, and I just happened to wake up because I hear her like in the shower, and I hear her shower, but her shower is like longer than usual, and I just happened to be like, "Baby, you feeling good?" And she's like, "No." So inadvertently, her trying to take care of me, I ended up passing it on to her. So um, Tuesday, we take her to go get tested because like there was free testing over at the county building. Actually, it's like the welfare building. I call it the welfare building because they got like unemployment over there. What was it like? You go over there to go get your food stamps and things of that nature. So like that's why I just call it the welfare building. Um, so there was free testing over there. So myself, my fiance, and my brother, we go over there to go get tested because like then my brother um he wasn't like feeling well, but his symptoms weren't as extreme or wasn't as bad as mine. Um, and like he had lost his taste and smell. At that particular point in time, like I didn't lose my taste and smell yet. Um, but that happened like later on in the week. Like I just went to go eat something and I was like, God damn, I can't taste nothing. And then like I farted a couple times and I couldn't smell nothing. I was like, damn, I lost my senses. Like imagine like you farting and then like you just that's how you find out like you can't smell anything. Um so like the first week, like, also like, one of my symptoms was like, or I just felt like really, really dehydrated, like just always thirsty. Like, so what I did was, when I worked at Amazon, like the EWR4 building, like I bought like a gallon of well, just a gallon jug. And like I would have always fill it up with water. So just fill that up with water. And, every time I woke up, like it's just like I felt like super dehydrated. And I just like kept drinking water like a lot and going to the bathroom a lot. That first week, actually, like the first 2 weeks. But like at the end of the first week, like the extreme body pains and everything like that kind of went away. And the doctor was like, that was because I was drinking like a lot of water and like flushed like the poisons and I guess like the virus or whatever like out of my system. So I was like, all right, cool. But then after like the first 2 weeks, which they were just like trying to get me to go back to work at both jobs because I work at Carvana full time as well. Um, so both jobs, like, they're gladly pay you, for the 2 weeks that you're out initially. Now, if you're still not feeling well, then that's when they're like, yeah, we're not going to pay you. But I had to talk to some people at Amazon and things of that nature. So they ended up giving me some more money for being out because I was out like 2 more weeks, like pretty much like I was out like a month before like then things like went really bad over at Amazon and shit. So I just ended up quitting because it's a part-time job anyway, and I'm going back to school in February. So I wasn't going to be able to do like all three things at the same time. So one of them had to go. Amazon had to go. Um and like when I had to extend my leave at Carvana, they told me that like some company handles that the extended leave, like Unum or whatever. And yeah, Unum, like they pretty much screwed me over. They gave me like $75 and tried to tell me to like, file temporary disability with the state. The state didn't want to help. So, the state, me and the state of New Jersey, like we don't really see eye to eye. I broke my hand back in like 2004, and I filed for disability because like I had screws and like my hand was in the cast for like a year and a half back in like '04 to like fucking like 2006. That's when I finally got like the screws out of my hand. I think like early 2006. Um, and so I had a broken hand. I had doctor's note saying I couldn't work. Um, and job saying that they couldn't hire me because I had a cast on my hand and I'm an insurance liability. They still deny me disability. So I didn't expect them to, give me any disability money for being out for having COVID, and they denied me as well. So um the thing that really made me, I guess, like extend my leave and everything like that is because like I had a cough. Like I had a really bad cough, like I couldn't shake it. And like I would just go into like coughing fits, and like I'll just be coughing up like a lot of phlegm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my first actually, like, there was actually thoughts that was running in my head. I was like, yo, like, the first, especially the first week it was like really hard to breathe and things of that nature. I was like, yo, like, what if I actually like nod off and like I don't wake back up? Like those are like real fucking thoughts like that ran through my head. I'm like, damn, like this is how the shit's gonna end. Like COVID's gonna take me out. Like this is bullshit. Like, but like, cause I just felt tired like all the time. And it's like the thing that they try to tell you to do is stay awake as long as possible, like be active and things of that nature. Don't just sleep just because you feel tired. Like that's what the virus wants you to do. And I'm like, yo, like, nigga, I want to go to sleep. Like I'm tired. Like I want to go to sleep, but I had to force myself to wake up, walk around the room. Um, you know, especially when I had to go to the bathroom. Because like I said, I was drinking a lot of water. It was mad trips back and forth to the bathroom. Um, Now like from what I've seen, like from firsthand experience, like COVID affects people differently. Um, so there's not just like a blueprint to the virus. Like it affects people differently. Like the symptoms that I was going through, that I was experiencing, my fiance didn't experience those. Like I experienced like body aches, like my body was like really hot, but like my forehead, it was still room temperature. Or like it was not regular temperature. But like my body was burning the fuck up. Like I felt like really, really thirsty. Um, she had anxiety, like panic attacks. And trying to think of what else. Like whenever she would have a panic attack, like she would go in the shower and like turn on cold water and that shit would help calm her down. Oh yeah, she felt like she was overheating. Um and like the cold shower would like, calm her down. Um, and we were both like sleep a lot, like because like we just both felt tired. Um, my brother, like I said, like I think like the major thing with him was like lost, you know, his taste and smell. All three of us lost our taste and smell. But it came back, I think, like by the end of the second week, maybe going on to the third week. I know some people, well, not, I don't know them, but I've read that, there's been some people who've lost their taste and smell, like, I guess, like permanently since they had it. Um, like it hasn't come back yet. I was hoping like I was not one of those people. And it just happened to be like, I think like maybe 2.5 weeks in. Um, I was actually drinking like some orange juice, and like I was like, yo, I could actually taste like the fullness of the orange juice. Like it was just weird. Like I could taste the sweetness, but I couldn't taste like the actual like rest of the orange juice, if that's being clear on how to explain this shit. It's probably not. But yeah, so that's how my experience was. And it was like a rough, month and a half, and like I finally went back to work last night. Um so, trying to have a sense of normalcy now. Actually also still like some of the effects that I'm feeling from COVID. I still get winded easily. Because like there was like points where it was like maybe 3 weeks like after I'm out of the quarantine phase. And they deem me like, non-infectious. I did make some runs to Walmart, and then like I go to Walmart and like just, light shopping, just walking around the store, like I would feel real winded. Like by the time like, I'm leaving the store, like I feel like I'm out of breath. And that's how I felt like when I was at work. Um, getting in and out of cars, like constantly walking around. I'm like, yo, I still feel winded. And I still have coughing fits as well. But some of the meds that I got from urgent care, and the last meds that I got from my doctor, it was like cough medicine, but it was in like pill form. I forgot what she gave me, but it's kind of calmed it down a lot. But like, you know, I still can't really laugh without having like, you know, a coughing fit. Or like sometimes like I'll just say like out of the blue, like I'll just have like a random ass coughing fit. And like the shit is just like it's annoying as fuck. Cause like once I start coughing, it's like I can't stop. And then, most cases like I'm coughing up phlegm. So yeah, so that's my experience with COVID. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I was facing the past year, and I'm just the past year, the past month and a half. Because I really wanted to get back and record some episodes like of this podcast like last month, but like I just couldn't do it. Like COVID knocked me on my ass, and I'm just know just trying to get back on my feet now. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on over here. Like I said, like if anybody has any comments or anything like that, um, just leave them. If you got the Anchor app, just leave me some messages. And I'll definitely respond. And if they're positive, or even if they're negative, I'll put them in next episode. But yeah, get at your boy. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me, and if you stayed for this long in the podcast, thank you. I salute you. And until next time, which it definitely won't be like a few months. Trying to get, like I said, get back into this and get into a routine. So I'll be talking to you soon. Peace, love, and hair grease. Everybody be safe, wear your mask, and don't go out there going, rioting and shit. Everybody be safe. One.